Why can people not pay for porn when there is free porn? Why can't people then just not buy toys and provide themselves pleasure in other ways where they don't have to pay money?
It's really not the same.
You are reaching, my friend. You are reaching high.
So what are we keeping of this video? What are we keeping in?
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Message Raw podcast, and welcome back to episode 20. And in honor of episode 20, we've got a special guest with us. Do you want to introduce yourself, Maureen?
Hi, I'm Maureen.
Things like she has been on sets with amazing magazines. She has been
She's been on set with Nella Rose.
Oh shit.
Maureen's doing big things.
Oh shit.
Maureen is doing big things. Maureen, I can't believe you didn't say that, man.
Gotta blow your own trumpet.
Blow it on the trumpet, man.
So I want to know, Maureen, what does sex mean to you?
All right, what does sex mean to me?
Yeah.
Sex is, or what I think it should be anyway, or actually no, what it is for me is a place to explore certain ideas, fantasies, pleasures. I also feel like it should be a safe space, and I think it should be done with someone that you feel absolutely comfortable with. I think, but then I also think it should be something different for everybody else. I don't think sex has like a universal answer. I just think that's what it is for me, and what it is for another person is what it is for them. That's what I think.
I agree.
100%, yeah. I would say like literally the exact same thing. Like sex should be something intimate, something personal. Self-discovery is a personal thing, and it's individual for each person. And sex, when it can just be that, just sex, nothing more, nothing to it. And it shouldn't be weaponized. It shouldn't be used against somebody. It should be something that between 2, 3, 4, however many people involved, between them and them only.
Yeah, I think it's also important to highlight that sex should also be something that's done safely, you know. Consent is very, very important, right? If that person does say no or doesn't say anything, it's not a yes. Yes means yes, right? And also
consent can be withdrawn.
Say again?
Yes, it can be withdrawn.
Consent can be withdrawn.
Consent can be withdrawn at any time. Like at any time, doesn't matter how much you've done, how far you've gone, I can still say no. And I will. And I also think it's important to understand that sex has some serious consequences too, right? Like you can get pregnant from that shit. You can get HIV, you can get some serious STDs. I think it's important to understand that you have an idea of like just the extreme side that sex can also come with. So do it safely. Make sure you know what you're doing before you do it, and you know who you're doing it with before you do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel like as a woman, you should definitely be careful with who you're having sex with, because even though you should, as Najma was saying, it shouldn't be like used as a weapon. Some people do use it as a weapon towards women. So you have to be careful who you're allowing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that it's definitely something you want to do. Because if it does backfire, at least you can say, but I wanted to do that anyway. And that is like a very strong ground to stand on. But if you went,
I think you have to understand.
You're lagging for me. I was gonna say if you went into it with like just certain reservations and then it backfired, like it can be 10 times worse than it actually needed to be if you just said no at that moment.
Do it because you want to, because the chances are you won't regret it, even if it's a person.
I think you should have an understanding for yourself, first of all. If you are someone who is generally more emotional, generally puts a lot of emotions onto intimacy and interactions, then approach it from a cautious perspective. If you're generally someone who just goes with the flow, be safe, but you know that there won't be any attachment to it for you. So
Yeah.
have an understanding for who you are, then approach it from your perspective and how it would make you feel.
It's asking about friends with benefits. What's your
Yeah.
opinion on it?
Friends with benefits. I have never come across anyone who has successfully lived out that situation. I just have to say, I'm sure it can, but I've never ever come across someone who's lived out that situation successfully.
You have now.
I was gonna say I know one, but I don't know if I want to point them out.
You have now.
How it works. What are your tips for success on friends with benefit situation?
I haven't got any tips for you. I think you should just do what's best for you, honestly. I do think, like, I can't remember who said it in the beginning, but there are just some people that can just have sex with no attachments and recognize that it is just sex. And then there are some people that become more emotionally bound to it. I just think there aren't any tips. It's just being true to who you are.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
If
And it
you
doesn't
are
have to be
someone who just emotionally,
Go on,
if
Najma.
you're someone who just emotionally attached to people, I would say maybe it's not the one for you.
Do you think it could work if you're not attracted to someone?
You don't have to.
Honestly, I genuinely think that's the only way it could work, if you're not attracted to them.
Attracted, like physically attracted, or you mean sexually, chemistry level?
Everything.
Embarrassed
No,
to be.
I think if there's a bit, it's like how I feel about men and women being friends. I think if you're a little bit attracted to this guy and he's your best friend or this girl, the chances are someone is gonna like someone down the road.
I think friends is a bit different though, because like when you're in a relationship with someone, you should be friends first, right? So it's not hard. Oh, I'm sorry. I had my phone on loud from work. I forgot to turn it off. Sorry. Okay. I should start my sentence again, shouldn't I?
No, sorry, go on.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think it's a bit different comparing friends and friends with benefits, because to get from a friendship to a relationship is not that hard, because you're meant to be friends first in a relationship anyway. So it's kind of just crossing. No?
Not always.
No.
Well, I think it's very important to actually be friends with the person in the relationship.
You have to like,
Najma,
you have to like their personality, and if you don't get this person's personality attached to you, you just have sex with them, that's it, you in and out, you don't know that there's no friendship level, then I get that.
But it doesn't work like that though, does it?
But once you start going out to dinner and hanging out, maybe things can get out of hand.
I think if there's a bit of attraction there, someone is gonna like someone.
So isn't the whole point of friends with benefits that you guys hang out as well? Because, you know, obviously
Yeah.
friends, like the whole point is that you do the friends thing and you do the benefits
Well,
thing.
you know, that's why I don't use the word friends with benefit. I just say sex buddies, because I have never really had a friend with benefit where we actually hung out outside of the bedroom. I don't need that. I don't need that. I asked for that. In the
Maureen, if more people did it your way, a lot of people would not get their feelings involved. But a lot of people do it the way me and Grover are talking about.
Like they start off with
That's a bad idea then.
go somewhere.
That's
That's what
And it's usually someone
So
that
you are friends.
and you've decided, like, shall we do it?
So what's the point of being, might as well call it a relationship? You guys are friends, you have sex. What's the difference between being a couple?
Do you know what? I disagree with that too, though, because I don't necessarily. I mean, I know I said before how it's not that hard to get from friends to relationship, but there's a reason why you have friends and why you have relationships. Those connections are different, and just because you're having sex
With your
and you
friends.
also are really cool does not mean you need to be in a relationship, because you could not be compatible in
I
that
don't
way.
see what the difference is. The only thing I don't do with my friends is sleep with them. So if I'm sleeping with you and we're friends,
You're not emotionally involved though. You're romantically involved.
I'm emotionally involved with you, you're my friend. I
I
care
never
about you.
My
I
friends.
think there's more to it. I think you're simplifying it a bit too much. A lot of people say that too. I feel like you should know you're in a relationship. Like, I feel like there's so much more to a relationship. It's like you have to be compatible. You have to be able to get along. You have to have like the same values on life. You know, there's so much more than
Isn't
just
that why this
expectations.
person is your friend? Isn't that why they're your friend? I mean, I don't befriend people that that don't have the same morals and same values as me. Yes, there's more to a relationship, of course, get it, but your friends, all those things you mentioned, your friends would have it too.
No.
I disagree with you, Najma, as well.
I think there's certain things that you can allow with your friends, but you can't allow with your mans.
Yeah, like with friends with benefits, like you could, if you're in the right mind, you will allow him to go and date other girls, sleep with other girls. You're not gonna let your boyfriend do that.
If it's not an open relationship anyway.
We are friends, and we're in a group of friends. So I would personally, if I am sleeping with this person and we are all in the same group of friends, I would feel a bit possessive. That would be me.
Yeah, I think it goes back.
I wouldn't like our friend.
Same. I am way too possessive.
I wouldn't like our mutual friends being close or whatever. I'd be like, well, do you know what? I'm the one who's sleeping with him. But if it was just nothing but in the bedroom, then I wouldn't give a shit what he does.
See, this is why I don't believe in friends with benefits, because first of all, I'm not doing it the way Maureen is doing it, because I just know. I need to have a conversation before, after, during the day.
Also, the idea of like we don't really deep it, but in relationship, there's a lot of like things that we normalize that are kind of toxic, like what you just said before about being very possessive. Like, is that a good character trait to have? Like, why are you possessive? What's the reason behind it? Why do you feel so threatened and intimidated by the fact that your man wants to do something else
with someone else? It's a commitment, Maureen.
But honest question, why is that an issue?
Because it's a commitment. We're committed to each other that we're not going to go outside.
You guys are like breaking it.
Wait a minute. If my partner wants to sleep with other people because he finds them attractive, then he is now theirs. I don't know what sort of toxic trait that is.
Why is that? Why does it mean that he's theirs? Because he can still love you at the same time.
Now we're down to the definition of love. Because to me, love is a lot more exclusive than he loves you, but he's sleeping with other people.
Okay, that's true. I guess it does come down to how you define love and like loyalty and all those kind of things. But it makes a lot of sense in my head.
So Maureen, let me ask you this: is cheating a deal breaker for you?
Yeah, it is.
But why then? Like, what about the cheating?
You guys, I never said that I was on their side. I said that I get it. I said that I get it.
Believe that as human beings, we're meant to be with one person. Like, we're meant to be monogamous.
We'll find out when I get married.
Well, that says a lot. I suppose that's a no from Grover then.
No, I do.
I has a lot of confidence in her marriage.
I do think about this sometimes. Look, I really believe in the concept of marriage. I really believe why it grounds people, why it keeps society in order in a lot of ways. But at the same time, when I look at it from an evolutionary perspective, from a scientific perspective, I'm a bit like, I think that relationship is built on a lot more than just loyalty and trust. I think it's a lot more that needs to function for something to last 50, 60, 70 years. So 30 years later, they're there just because they're complacent. They just can't be asked to start over. They can't be asked. Their fear of not being with someone doesn't allow them to leave. So I don't know. I see that. I
think you've answered it. Maureen, do you think people can be monogamous?
I don't even know if I'm educated enough to answer that question, because I feel like I just need to do like a whole history degree on like
some people are.
And shit. I don't know.
I think some people are and some people cannot do it. I think for some people it's a very natural thing, and for some people they just cannot commit. You know?
Not lack of commitment. I don't see being polygamous as a lack of commitment.
What do you see it as?
Like some people are 100% committed to one person, but actually they're just a bit more, they need more. So it's not like they're going around and having full-blown relationship with other people. They might have one relationship with one person, they're married to that person, but sexually they need more than that person is able to give them.
Okay, that leads me to the next question then. Body count. Do you guys care about body count?
This old age? Not really.
She said in this old age. Good night.
See, I don't care if I'm 50, 60, 80. Actually, maybe that's quite sad. But I think it's important to know how many people my partner's been with. I don't care.
What reason?
I feel like, do you know what it is, right? When it comes to relationships, yeah, I see a lot of women talk, right? And they'll be like, they want to know how much the partner earns. They want to know where he is. They want to know his password to his phone. They want to go. But God forbid the man asks her, how many people have you slept with? Then that becomes, that's my personal business. I'm like, why is that
crazy?
Yeah, because it's a sensitive issue for women.
I'm
That's
like, why is
why.
that always, personal business?
They don't know how they're going to be, how the information they give is.
But do you want to be with someone who's not going to be comfortable with the number you're going to tell him?
I mean,
by the time that you start saying numbers.
Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be wanted. Everybody wants to be in a relationship. Or everybody wants to feel loved. And it's like, if you reveal information that you feel like could jeopardize that, it's not about being with someone who knows you or not. It's just about that rejection feeling. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I disagree. I personally wouldn't want to be with someone who's going to reject me for what I am.
I'm not necessarily saying I agree with it.
And what I believe in. If I'm with someone and they ask me how many people I've been with, I'm going to tell them the truth. And if they can't handle it, then they can't handle it. And I find that off-putting.
But by the time that you start talking about your number and things like that, you should know what the person, how they're going to react.
Exactly.
For me, that's the question that comes on later in the relationship. We're not meeting up and you're not asking me what my number is, because that would make me run for the hill.
Yeah.
It's something that comes like later in the relationship. And if the person I've committed to, I would know if they would feel a certain way. Does that make sense?
100%. That's what I'm
saying. I
saying.
agree with you. You'd be okay with my number before I even told you, because I know if you'd be okay with it or not.
You've judged it. I agree.
I don't know what I think, actually.
This whole thing about telling getting your password, how much you earn, your number, it really should not be a interview thing. It's something you find out along the line when you're in a relationship. It's just something you find out. Honestly, it shouldn't be like, okay, let's have a see. What's your number? How much money do you earn? Where were you born? What's your telephone? And
I don't think everybody does that though, Najma. When they say they want to know,
because the way people talk about it, that's what it sounds like. Things like this can come across. It's something that you find out organically.
Yeah, but a lot of time that's how it happens. It's during conversation, and then you ask someone. I don't know. I find it odd when people withdraw that information. Like, who cares?
To you though, you don't care. A lot of people care.
No, I care. As in, like, if I was with a guy and he told me like a huge number, I would care. Call me shy, call me immature. I don't give a shit. I would care, because I feel like, how can a guy go from sleeping with 3, 4, 5 girls a week to just one girl? 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. I find that hard.
Does that make you question his commitment levels?
Yeah, his loyalty. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Me personally, I just can't see how you can break that habit. You're already telling me someone is gonna go from sleeping with like a different girl every day to being with just one girl.
First of all, I don't think guys are really sleeping with 4, 5, 6 girls a week if you're not a celebrity, all right? I honestly don't think that most guys are actually doing that, if I'm being honest. I don't think most guys' numbers are actually even that high, if I'm being honest. Like, I really, unless you are like a person, like a...
It's somebody.
Yeah, I don't want to say somebody, like, because we're all somebody.
Somebody.
But, you know, I know what
Someone
you
with a
mean.
name, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think that people's numbers are just racking up that quickly, because then I think that kind of shows your habits, and I might be a bit worried. Like, what are you doing going out and actually like praying and trying to find these girls?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Why is it always saying?
You don't like that anyway. You don't want a guy like that. You don't even want a guy like that anyway. It's got nothing to do with his count. He's trash.
Would you call yourself adventurous? Would you want to be adventurous? Are you more tamed? How would you want it? Like, what would be your ideal
Partner?
Like your sex?
But everyone thinks they're adventurous. Do you know what I mean? Don't they?
Actually, facts. Everybody thinks they're a freak.
Everyone thinks they're a freak, they're a gymnastic, they can do this.
No, actually, I have a lot of friends who call themselves pillow princesses.
Oh, I love that. Claim it with your chest. If you don't do shit, claim it. You just lie there. If you're Tony, have you guys much girlfriends? Tony's during sex.
I have a lot of friends who just say they just lie there, and that is it.
Never met anyone say that. Everyone really just says they're a freak, they're this, they're the best. This. Oh, but actually, forget it. Okay. Anyway,
Like, for me, right, there are things that I'd be open to, and there are things that are no-go. Like no. Like,
what's a deal breaker?
Sorry?
What's a turn off?
Like, a lot of there's a lot of fetishes out there that like horrify me, and I think, oh my god, go seek therapy.
Like
No, what are they? Can't you speak in generally like this?
Like child play and animal play, and those are not cool for me anyway.
So, next question, guys.
We're on the record now.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we back on the record? So I know when I can talk about, you know,
Yeah.
all the
So,
topics.
does anyone want to admit the ugly truth? How many times has anyone here ever faked it?
I've never faked an orgasm, but I think I faked a moan. I feel like I've exaggerated moans in my life. I can't remember when, but I would be surprised if I haven't.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There are times.
Maureen, you know I do not like empowering men for no reason. I just don't like empowering men for no reason. It pisses me off. Men are gassed up anyway, and we shouldn't really be doing that shit.
Do you know what? It's not about empowering them or making them feel, I don't know.
It is, I don't know.
I can't remember, but I think it's just in the moment. It's not knowing what else to do, you know? Because I don't know, because maybe this is how I should have started the question when they asked about like my sex journey. But I've definitely grown a lot more in confidence in my place in saying and speaking in the bedroom, I would say. And I feel like those moments where I have faked a moan, I just didn't feel empowered enough to be like, I'm not feeling this, bro. Whereas I've had that more in recent moments.
It takes time.
I think, yeah, confidence is a big thing, and it's a self-discovery. You have to get yourself. No one can tell you otherwise, or no one can tell you be confident. This and that. Something you discover. And being able to talk about as well, what you like and what you don't like. Men are so quick to voice their concerns. If they don't like this, they would tell you immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think as women, we just selfish. We need to tell whoever we are with, nah, this is not working. No, this is what's working.
Yeah, we're legit taught that sex isn't even for us. That's legit how we're taught about sex. Like, it's just something you do for the man.
Okay.
Like, the idea of a woman wanting sex for some people is mad, and it's just like, All right.
Mad. But I feel like it's changing a lot these days. I
Therefore.
feel like I see a lot of men taking pride in the fact that they know that the woman talks to them and tells him what she wants, and they like the fact that she's being pleased.
Yeah, I see a lot more pride in like men actually pleasing their woman.
Yeah,
It's nice to see.
very nice.
Because
And like
otherwise it'll be
admitting that
very
in public
stupid.
too,
What's the
like
point?
saying I go down on my girl and like I'm proud of that, you know?
Do you know what?
I remember when we were in
Need to stop saying that shit like it's gonna make any girl drop her panties. Like that
Yeah.
shit is basic now.
It is
it's
bar.
role
Below
play.
the bar.
Yeah, but if you're not enjoying it, ladies, let him know.
Let him know. And if you don't feel comfortable telling him, you shouldn't be sleeping with him. Think about why you're actually having that sexual relationship with him.
If you're not getting pleasure out of it, then what are you doing?
Words double added.
And what are you doing? That's the question, sis. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Just
It's
concentrate on
true
the clear.
though, because it's true. Like
That's the main
men
focus
is one, men is one thing. With women, like as Najma was gonna say, like every woman's body is different.
Different. The different things are in different places.
What can you elaborate? Because I completely agree that people have different things that make them different in terms of how they like to be pleased in bed. But there is a general go-to zone, which is the clit. And
Even that goes into, okay, this is off the record, right? I have spoken to girls who who can't orgasm. Like the way they like the clit to be played is not directly, it's literally way above.
It's what first?
Whereas some people like it on the dot.
Yeah, but then that's like men too. Some men get more aroused when you play with their balls. Some men just want you to focus on the tip. Look at me talking. But it's the truth. I just feel like the way that there is like a general place for a woman's focal point is the same way that there is for a man. And this, I don't know, this idea that every woman's body is so different. I don't know if I buy that.
It's not so different, but I think it's quite
excuses to be lazy.
Yeah, do you think that men to work less hard?
I don't think so. Because
our body's not that complicated. Stop it.
I don't think they should work less hard, and I think there should be communication. But I think for men, honestly, there is one target, and that is it.
I agree with Najma.
So there's a lot more things.
What's going on?
Well,
What's going on?
Well, what was the question to begin with anyway?
The orgasm gap, that's what we were talking about.
Oh yeah, like a lot of girls have faked it and a lot of girls who don't know what's going on. So I think that goes to show maybe we're not communicating and the men just
yeah, I do think it is a lack of communication sorry.
No, go on.
I was gonna say I do think it is a lack of communication on our part. I do think we need to be more empowered about how we feel and our role in the bedroom. I'm not saying I'm blaming women, I'm blaming more society as a whole. But the answer to that problem is empowering us and making us feel like sex is for us.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It's a lifetime of women should not enjoy this.
Yeah.
And the fact that you enjoy it, there's something wrong with you. Like, what are you, prostitute? What, like, there's been a lot of negative things attached to it. Therefore, a lot of women feel like by speaking up, you have to admit that you must enjoy it if you want it a certain way.
Or that you know your body.
Exactly.
Like,
and
that might be intimidating to him.
You know what, yeah?
Stigma.
I've never looked at it, this is just me. I've just never looked at it as like a woman has been sleeping around to know your body. Like, to know your body does not require you to have had sex.
Nope. And honestly, sex is just a no-go. You should be pure. You should be, you shouldn't know any of these things.
Yeah. Which is interesting because men always want a woman who's freaky and knows what she's doing. But you should be a virgin though. But you should absolutely know what you're doing. What about sex toys? Do you guys have any?
I think every woman, there are different things that work for different people. Find your thing. Go on that website. What's it called? Love Honey?
And Summers?
And Summers. Find your thing and discover your sexuality, and don't depend someone else for your pleasure.
Yeah, sex toys are great.
What did you say?
Sex toys are great, honestly. Love me a sex toy.
How many have you got?
A
Have you
few.
got them?
A few.
Do
Not
they
a
all
lot.
give you a different feeling?
Okay, I've still got the first one that I ever got when I was like 19, I think. Got it from Ann Summers. And that is a rabbit, so it's double penetration. And so not double penetration. Oh my God, I wish. It's like penetration, and then it's also like
Stimulation.
it's yeah, stimulating your clit. Got a vibrator, and then I've got a butt plug.
Which one is your favorite one?
My first one, because I just
Dare I
really
ask?
to it.
Dare I ask, does butt plugs do anything?
Yeah, the one I have vibrates. It's great.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the last question, like, has porn changed anyone's view towards sex?
Yes and no. Well, it has when I was like, before I didn't know anything and all I could go was, I don't know, what I saw. But as I go older, and I know that is more of a fantasy, like the same reason I don't believe in Cinderella anymore. Same reason I don't believe in a fairy godmother is going to come and sprinkle dust on me and my problems would go away. I now see it as a fantasy, nothing more. Entertainment.
Okay. You don't feel like you should live up to this?
No. And men especially, it does more damage to men than women. Like this guys be lasting hours and hours and hours is not normal.
Does anyone even want that though, really and truly?
Because the young boys feel like that's what the expectation is.
You know what? I feel like I view porn the same way I view Instagram. In the sense of, I feel like it's got its good, it's got its bads. I feel like I completely agree with the fact that it does sell unrealistic expectations. And it also normalizes some really mad fetishes. Like,
what unrealistic expectations do you think it does? I mean,
well,
that's
first of all, the way women sound, like they are moaning way too much, and it's way too exaggerated, and like they're just doing way too much, and it's barely gone in. Like, you don't necessarily have to feel it at that very moment. It might take some time for you to feel it. Sometimes they don't even have foreplay in these videos. It's just like open the video and it's gone straight to sex. Sometimes.
I was watching this video. It was a movie. What movie was it? And it was the girl from Pretty Little Liars. And she was having sex with this boy, and she said, "If I'm quiet, I'm enjoying it." And I was like, finally.
Yeah.
quiet sex.
Sometimes
Yeah.
there's no need for this loud wake
Yeah.
up the neighbors.
Also, I was watching something recently that said how our moans are like socially constructed, and it's like the way we sound specifically isn't necessarily our natural sound, but because we've been sold this idea of what moans sound like,
We've
that's
adopted.
kind of why we all moan like that. And he actually played a video, or no, like a screen, like a recording of a woman who was deaf moaning, and it was wild, like in the most respectful way, like it was wild, like she sounded like legit, like animalistic, and it's just not a sound that you'd hear. I don't think most
attractive.
people sound like.
I need to Google that one.
It was really interesting.
I
But the
don't
beauty
know.
of
See,
porn,
I don't think porn is unrealistic. I don't think
Okay.
it's too far fetched.
elaborate.
I don't like. I just think it's normal.
It can be, Sharon, it can be. No, it
It
can
can be exaggerated 100%. Yes.
It can. And I think some of the more popular videos are exaggerated.
Like some of them are not something enjoyable, or like you see some women squatting for days on end. Like, what are you doing?
I don't. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Can
going
I
to-
ask, do you guys think that when people watch porn, it creates a fantasy desire that is actually very unrealistic to achieve in real life? And so do you think they then experience shortfalls in their realistic, like real scenarios that happen to them because they've watched so many? It's like kind of like they become, the word is on the tip of my
Desensitized.
yeah, they become desensitized. The way people do when they play war games and play with guns, it suddenly becomes, okay, it's not that big a deal. And in the same way, when people see such fantasy situations and then they don't occur in real life, maybe they don't get aroused. Because I've had that.
I don't know.
So you're saying we're so desensitized to it that if it's happening in real life, we're not bothered. It's not.
No, you think it raises people. It's like, okay, a guy watches like this crazy ass porn with loads of moaning, right? And then Maureen said that sometimes she'll be surprised if she hasn't fake moaned in the past. Do you think that's because she's watched videos like that and it's just the sort of thing you do? You're actually reenacting what you've seen to reach the expectations that you've seen on TV. That's what sex should look like, right? So I'm saying that happens in real
I think a lot of people are just reenacting. A lot of people don't know what they're doing. 100%.
Are you just putting out a movie scene that you saw? Is what.
But
I'm
I
saying.
don't believe in being desensitized. I don't believe in this person just saw extreme porn, therefore they cannot get aroused normally unless that extremity is taking place in front of them. I don't really think that.
I just think that when people watch really extreme porn, they must, like, I just imagine that in some way they must suddenly their expectations of what is normalized and of what should happen.
What's extreme porn, like BDSM?
I don't know, like the further it goes.
Pay for?
Pardon?
Is it the premium one, the one that people pay for?
If you're paying for porn, just evaluate your life.
You're
please.
sad.
Wait, can we not push that? There's nothing wrong with paying for porn. Actually,
Lauren is sad.
no, you see, that's the problem. There's actually nothing wrong with paying
I'm
for
so
porn.
Well, the root of the problem,
The most
Sharon.
ethical porns that you can find are actually the ones that are paid for. It means that the workers were paid more, the people involved were paid more. It probably means that there's better ethics with the industry behind the scenes.
Okay, when you put it, okay, when you
Now I get it. Now I get it. Now
no,
I
but
get it.
Maureen, are people paid?
Toxic porns that you'll find are the ones that are
No, Maureen, I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
Fair trade.
what?
It's fair trade. You know, you get bananas, they're fair trade. The workers have been paid.
Bro.
Good money, the farmers have been paid good
I'm
money.
sorry.
Good fair trade.
For it. You know what? Good for you.
Bro, we
But
don't
please,
need to add ethics in order to validate it. If you want to do it, do it. All right? Ain't no
But-
By all means.
wrong.
By all means, but I think
do
it's
whatever you want
sad.
to do. Do whatever
I
you
think
want to
it's
do. But
sad to pay for
there's so many
something
free ones out there.
that you get for free.
Yeah, but I don't understand. So, so I don't understand, Sharon. It's okay for people to pay for toys and vibrators, but it's not okay for the other things that allow them pleasure.
Because there are free things
Gross.
there.
Yes, you're saying it like there's not a difference. There's like a huge difference.
But also, do you not think there are other ways that people can stimulate themselves outside of toys that they can purchase in Ann Summers?
And plus, that video is probably better.
Gross. You think you're making a point, but you're not. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can. You can.
If
But what I'm
people
saying is-
right here, if
But what
people
I'm saying is-
right here,
No.
why no.
What I
Why
mean-
can people not pay for porn when there is free porn? Why can't people then just not buy toys and provide themselves pleasure in other ways where they
It's
don't
not
have to
the
pay money?
no.
It's
no,
really not
Ginger,
the same.
You are
don't get it.
reaching, my friend. You are
Very
reaching.
I
There
think
is
you
a free
guys
thing
see
there.
this
Why
as
pay for it?
porn as like a
Listen,
really-
that's me paying. That's me going on OnlyFans, right? There's people on OnlyFans who post nudes anyway on Twitter. We've seen your nudes, and they're OnlyFans. You see the tweets.
Same
It's
content.
it's the same shit. That is like watching free porn and then paying to watch the same exact shit.
Say if someone
Using your
has a
hand
fetish,
versus using your hand versus using a vibrator are two different feelings.
but if someone gets really turned on by
Two
a very
different experiences.
by a very specific fetish or a very specific scenario or role
They
play,
are there
and
for free. You can
and
actually
they might
getting
be
it.
more specifically tailored to that. I don't see why that's any different.
But you think that there's some sort of hierarchy, whatever fetish, whatever disgusting thing you're into, it's there for
It's
free.
there for free. It's already there for free.
Okay, say someone likes a really specific actress and they have to pay for them. They've
They
seen
are there
like
for free.
Yes, girls.
they've seen a trailer on Pornhub that they can't find anywhere else. Then they choose to go pay for that.
You're reaching, my dear.
I'm sticking to my point. I think if you're
Well,
paying,
I
I
think you guys see as paying for porn as a really, I don't really understand.
I think comparing it to sex toys.
Yeah,
is
you're comparing it to sex toys. You're comparing.
If someone is handing out free
saying
vibrators,
taking
why am I
pleasure
going
from a
to?
very specific type of activity?
Gunjan, if people are handing out free vibrators in the streets, why am I going to Ann Summers to buy a new one?
Yeah, that should be the scenario.
No.
You're paying for the exact same shit you're getting for free. Using your hand and using whatever,
It's two different things.
and using a vibrator, two different experiences. Two
No.
different experiences.
I disagree.
The one economy is not sad to pay for porn. Pay for your porn if you want to pay for it. All right, cool. Also, can I plug a porn site that is amazing called, I can't pronounce the name of it, but it's something like Belissa, something like that. And basically, it
What
just
makes
the
it
aim of it is it's porn made by women, because most porn is actually made by men, and you can actually notice a difference in the way the porn is filmed in these films in comparison to the porn that you see.
Is it a female gaze?
Yeah, just because it concentrates more on like the woman's body and like actually close-ups of the woman's vag than just.
I would say don't just limit yourself to videos. Like there are a lot more interesting things like erotica, like reading things can be incredibly interesting and awakening a lot of feelings that you didn't know you have. Don't limit yourself to one thing. If you are discovering yourself, and yes, videos are the most accessible thing. God, I remember at school, people were sharing porn clips across the class. But there's more to it than just that. And if something that makes you feel uncomfortable, don't watch it. Turn it off. And
that's what I was gonna end mine on. Listen, there's things that are normalized in the sex life that if you're still not comfortable with it, it's completely okay. And then there's things that people pretend they're not doing because it's not normalized yet. But if that's what you're into, go for it. Do what you want to do. Do what you're comfortable with.
I was gonna say, because you know how I compared it to Instagram. I think the good thing about porn, or at least what has helped me, is just normalizing my body. So like one thing, for example, I wouldn't say I was like mad
insecure
or self-conscious about it, but I was aware of the fact that like my lady parts are like darker, and I also it's something that Black women get shamed for a lot on Instagram, right? I mean, or on Twitter, just like comparing it to stupid things. And actually porn helped me in normalizing that for me. So it's like when I started to make a conscious decision to watch more Black people having sex, it just eradicated from my mind. Like it didn't become a big deal to me at all watching more Black people. So I think it has its purposes.
And do what's comfortable for you. Don't do things because other people are doing it. Don't let anyone.
It never works out
into
for the
doing
end, no matter how much
Yeah.
it feels like it will in that very moment.
And understand consent from both the giver and the givee, the receiver. Both men and women can withdraw their consent anytime.
Yeah.
Let's respect each other's bodies, each other's limits, and enjoy
and have fun.
Oh yeah. Also, I feel like I want to say, if there's stuff in the past that you've done that I don't know, you feel shamed about, or you feel like you regret, maybe accept where you come from. You know, you're not dirty because you've done that. That has happened, but you are a different person now, and just I don't know.
Agree.
don't know how I want to phrase it, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The moment is a powerful thing. When you are in a moment, you can get swept under the what's going on.
It's so important to forgive yourself, you know?
You live and
Accept
you
where you were
learn.
at that point and acknowledge that you've moved on.
You live and you learn. You move on. It's everything makes you who you are. Whatever happened in the past makes you who you are.
Oh, and also to all the men, if she is a whore for sleeping with you, you, my friend, are also a whore. All right? She's a slut for sleeping with you. You, my friend, are also a slut, right? She's a slag. She's a bitch. She's easy. All of them things you're calling her, you was in the bedroom with her too. You, my friend, are all those things.
Anything, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, porn, whatever it is, if something is making you feel uncomfortable, making you question the way you look, bloody get out of it. Just end it right there and then.
It's not the account. It's your how you're using it.
Yeah. Anything that you look at it and makes you feel bad about yourself, just end it before it escalates.
Right. And on that note, guys, thank you, Maureen, for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
No, stay messy.
Stay messy. She knows.